Today we're very happy to be joined by Marcus Anderson. Welcome, Marcus.
Thank you, Antonio.
We are very curious about your current position, about your work.
I am the president of Broadplay Mobile. We're a software development company and we build apps and platforms for corporations and for entrepreneurs.
Can you tell us something about your personal story as an immigrant?
I was born in Canada. I have multiracial parents. My father was Jamaican, or is Jamaican. He immigrated here in the first wave of the West Indian immigration back in the 50s and 60s. And he met my mother in university, and she's maybe fifth or sixth generation Canadian.
Very interesting,
Yeah.
Very interesting.
They're still together.
Of course, of course. Can you
Right.
tell us something more specifically about challenges that your family must have undergone?
Well, as I mentioned, my father came across in the first wave of West Indian immigration into Canada in the 1950s, and it was a culture shock for sure. I think that the weather presented a challenge. He came, he didn't have even a winter coat to his name, so he arrived, and that was one of the things that he had to embrace and understand and come to realize was that this is a new climate, and the Canadian I guess persona is not as warm as potentially other cultures, and so he found that to be somewhat of a challenge to learn the Canadian way. But over time, he's integrated into his community. He lives north of the city, and he's been a town councillor in his town, and been able to be a very vibrant leader of his community. So it's definitely been a successful experiment from our family's perspective.
We've been talking a little bit about this new project, this new idea of TV for immigrants,
Right.
CanadaWorld TV. Do you know anything about it, or what do you think about it?
Well, I think it's very important for these sorts of opportunities to present themselves, for immigrants to have a voice, really. I think that's the key here, is that a place where their message can be heard and resonate with the Canadian public and within their own communities as well. So when people can reach out and kind of have that forum or a soapbox, if you will, I think that it's a great place for people to increase their comfort level when they arrive into a new country.
Let's talk a little bit about the different multicultural communities here in Canada. Why should they support CanadaWorld TV?
I think they can embrace and feel a part of this because they will have kind of almost like a resident home in the media space to call their own. So I think that it's going to allow different ethnic communities to really feel a sense of purpose and exposure to media and be able to be delivered information in their own language. It's very important.
And why do you think all Canadians at this point should support CanadaWorld TV?
Well, we're a nation of immigrants. We're a shining light to the world in terms of our inclusivity and our embracing of immigrants into our nation. And I think that in that spirit, the mainstream populace will know that making people feel comfortable as they land on these shores will allow them to start to become more productive citizens and feel more at home more quickly.
Thank you very much, Marcus, for joining us and for your support.
Well, thank you.
For CanadaWorld TV.
I wish CanadaWorld TV all the best, and I definitely hope that TLN is able to be successful in its bid.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.